Hello my friends, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to talk about the best cockpits of 2024. For all the cockpits I'm going to talk about, there are reviews available on the channel. I will not go over them like I did last year. I will just give you the best buy, in my opinion, and the best overall seat that I think is worth mentioning.
This video will handle 4 types of cockpits. First category are the wheel stands. The second would be the foldable and storable cockpits. Tubular frames will come next, and last but not least the aluminium 4080 profile rigs.
For best wheel stand out there, I would pick the Next Level Racing Wheelstand 2.0. When I got it here, I was really impressed with the stability of it all. When you plant it down, it stays planted down. So you can use a bit of a heavier wheelbase, heavier pedals on it, and it won't budge. It also comes with a lot of features. You have the shifter holder, which comes with it standard. You have the desk chair tray that you can put the wheels of your chair in so it doesn't move. So it has a lot of features. Also very efficient to fold away. So when you fold it up, it doesn't take a lot of space, which can be very important for you. Well, otherwise you wouldn't be looking for a wheel stand. So very space efficient. And with a price of €230, well, it is not cheap, but I do think you get a lot in return for this. If you look at the best bang for buck wheel stand, I would opt for the Uplight Wheelstand GT Pro or the Nano RS. It is a generic wheel stand that you can find on Amazon, on Alibaba or whatever. It has a few different names, but the looks are almost always the same. It is also a very stable rig, so I was impressed with it. It comes with the shifter holder, but it doesn't, for example, have the tray to put your wheels for your desk chair in, which is a bit less. But nonetheless, if you don't need all the gadgets of the Next Level Racing, this one coming in at €160 around is a very good alternative, and for me the better buy between both. I have noticed if you go a bit too cheap, then the quality is simply not there. You really want your wheel stand to be a bit decent, stable, and the two that I mentioned here, I can guarantee you that they are stable. When it comes to foldable cockpits, it is Playseat that dominates this category. You have the best cockpit that I chose, which is the Playseat Challenge X Logitech edition. And it just is efficiently foldable. It is the best one out there if you don't have a lot of space. If you want to race a bit in the living room, then this is really the cockpit that you want to buy. It is not as spec as, for example, Next Level Racing cockpits, but I do think that the entire package just warrants this to be chosen above all other products out there.
Now, I agree it looks like a beach chair, and at €299 it is quite an expensive beach chair, but you just get a lot back in return. What makes this one of the best is the ease of configuration, the user friendliness, the fast deployment, and the very small footprint. While Playseat also doesn't add a lot of extras, this one comes with a gearshift holder to attach to the steering wheel and cable management clips. It offers really everything you would expect of a portable and storable rig.
For best buy, I would opt for the Playseat Challenge Activate or the normal one. It doesn't really matter. I like them both. There is good availability for these in a lot of countries, also available both new and second hand. So second hand, they can be bought for a really nice price. New, you will have to pay also around €200, a bit north, a bit south of that, but €200 you have to pay for this. I also think it is the perfect solution, just like the Challenge X. If you just want to have a quick drive, you fold it out, sit in it, you drive, fold it back in, put it behind the door, and it is gone. So reasonably stable. It is of course a foldable rig, so you need to make some compromises, but I think it's the one of the best out there for stability also when it comes to foldable rigs. Yeah, the only thing that I really don't like about it is that the pedals are not attached to the frame. And if you have like TLCM pedals or a bit larger pedal base, then the band that goes around it won't fit, and then you have a little issue, and when you fold it in, the pedals will fall down. So yeah, it's the best buy, but it comes with a bit of discomfort with it. I believe that in this category there is just too little competition. You have Next Level Ration, which is a bit significant, and you have Placeit, but for the rest I don't see any good portable and foldable rigs out there. And that's a bit of a shame. So there is so much innovation that can still be done to these types of rig, and I do believe that the market for these, well, is big, because I can't believe that everybody just has that much space in their house that they can put the tubular frames or the aluminium frames. So yeah, I would really think and hope that there will be some more innovations in this category coming soon. For tubular frames, for tubular frames, it is a very big category, and I had really difficulties there choosing the best buy. At the end, I was doubting between the GT Omega Titan with an RS12 seat or the TR8 Pro with an inclining seat. It is very, very difficult. At the end, I went for the TR8 Pro because it was just, yeah, I remember when I sat in it, I really felt the luxury of it all, and yeah, it was simply the best. It sits good. It is a complete rig. It comes with all the accessories. You have the shifter holder and stuff. And I know it sounds stupid, but what I liked the most about it was the wheel place holder, that you could just like the hand screws, you turn them loose, and then the wheelbase just slid back, and you could slide it back so easily and lock it into place. That was really something that struck me with the TR8 Pro, and also it just looks phenomenal. I mean, look at it, it's a real beast, and if you have this in your living room, then yeah, well, it is really an eye catcher.
With a price of €1,000 for the rig and the seat, yeah, it's not exactly a budget rig and considerably more expensive than the GT Omega Titan. But then again, the best rigs out there seldom come cheap.
So when it comes to the tubular frames, best buy, it is a bit different than I had the previous years. Previous years I had the GT Omega Art as a best buy, but now it has changed because the price of the GT Omega Art has gone up exponentially. We started in 2023 with a price of €380, and we have gone to €493 in 2024 with a seat. So really the price, because it has gone up more than €100, well, I do have another recommendation for best buy, and that is the Placeit Trophy. Now, the Placeit Trophy is a very stable solution. It is a lightweight, so that is something that I liked a lot about it. You can just take the Placeit Trophy, you can put it against the wall, out of your way. It is possible, and it is the only tubular frame that can do that. Also has a very small footprint, so for those that are limited in space, this one is really good. It is a very sturdy solution also when I compare it to, for example, the Track Racer TR8 Pro. Okay, that one is a tad more sturdy, but that is just because it is such a heavy construction. But I can promise you, if you put a direct drive on the Placeit Trophy, that it will handle it with style. Which brings me to the next point. I do think that it looks good, the Placeit Trophy. So if you have this one in your living room, well, it fits in there. So it is a very nice rig to look at too. The last thing that I would want to mention is that it is also very comfortable. Despite it being like a hammock and not a proper seat. I do find when you sit in it or when you lean back in it that it is very comfortable. What is also nice is that you can use it both in GT mode as in Formula mode, because the pedal plate can be turned upside down to have the pedals higher, and that makes it really a bit versatile. Last thing, the price, that hasn't changed, so it is it did change a bit. It went down, so it went to around 500 euro that you can buy it at the dealers. Also very widely available because PlayStation global player. It has a lot of dealers in a lot of countries, so that makes it for me really the best buy out there.
There are still a lot of tubular frames out there that I have not yet tested, and in particular the RC B1 and C1, Hoplite S8 and Track Racer TRX could potentially change the ranking in this category. When it comes to the best buy though, the Placy Trophy stays a very solid choice, bang for buck, and it will take a very special rig to dethrone it. Everything is possible, of course.
When it comes to 4080 profile rigs, it is a very difficult choice for best rig. I really like the GTA Omega Prime light, I really like the Track Racer TR80 light, and I really like the SimX Pro GTR-S. If I would really need to pick a winner here, it would be the SimX Pro GTR-S. The price is lower than the other two, that's true, but it has a bit of all in it. Plus, it is the most compact one of all of them. But it has the colors like the TR80 light, so the customization part, which I really like. It has the sturdiness of the GT Omega Prime light. It also has the nice and thick profiles. The only thing which I found a bit less with this one was that the height of the profiles to attach the wheelbase plate to is lower than the GT Omega Prime light. So it is very, very close in this category for best one, but I would pick the SimX Pro GTR-S as the best one. I think for the best buy, the SimX Pro GTR-S is the one to get. It is the most sturdy out there with the most attachment points. It's a very limited footprint that it has. The configuration of it is fantastic. Aesthetics, they really did a nice job with the different colors. And something also very important, because if you buy a 4080 rig, you probably want to go put a cup holder and a keyboard holder or whatever on it, and those parts are also very cheap with SimX Pro. So that makes for me really the best buy, the SimX Pro GTR-S.
Because profile cockpits tend to weigh a lot and cost a lot for shipment, this should be taken into account too when buying. GT Omega, for example, does free worldwide shipping, and this does count for a lot. I also know that in the UK, for example, SI Turnbull is highly recommended for profile rigs, and in the US and Canada, Advanced Sim Racing is certainly a company to look out for. Unfortunately, those rigs I will probably not test, as their availability in my region is, non-existent. If you have any questions or remarks, or simply do not agree with one of my choices, please leave a comment and I will certainly read and reply to it.
Thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you had something from this video. Remember that all the reviews are available in the description of this video. So take a look if there is one that interests you in particular, and I will see you all next video. Bye bye.